Will the Rangers be able to get up off the ice and have a productive season next season? Who knows? But what we do know is we don't have a lot of cap space, so the roster as it stands might be what we start with when the season begins. Let's have a look at the lineup. So it's July. I get it. It's early, but like I said, this might be what we have. So let's look at my projected lineups for the next season. Line one, really no surprises here. Panarin, Trocheck, and Lafreniere. Everyone had a down year last year. Panarin was no exception, but his down year put him down to around a point per game. And if that's your low point, you're doing all right. So there's no surprises. Panarin should be on the first line. Trocheck in the middle. There's no point breaking up the band here. Trocheck and Panarin, they've proven for a long time that they can play well together. Trocheck, dependable in his own zone, great on the draw. Really, now our first line center, de facto, in my opinion. Um, we'll see who else is coming up in the center slots behind him. But for me, Panarin and Trocheck, the days are gone now where that was seen as the second line or a 1B line, however you want to put it. I think that shows that we've taken a step back compared to the team that we had a couple of years ago. I think for now, Panarin and Trocheck, I think they are standout line one players. And I've put Lafreniere along with them. He's had first line time before. Now he's getting first line money. It's time to see that first line goals and points as well. He's going to get a chance. I think what's going to be obvious as we continue looking at the lines here is we're pretty thin down the right hand side. We'll talk a bit more about that as we go. But for now, this is my first line. Second line might surprise some people. Like I said, we're a bit slim on the right, but let's go through it. Will Cooley, second line left winger, he just got his bridge deal, so he'll be here for at least 2 more years. He's one of the few that actually had a sort of an upward trend year last year, and it's going to be great to see what next steps he can take. I think he's definitely going to get second line minutes here. He's going to get a chance to continue to prove himself and continue to grow as a player. The return of JT Miller, second line center for me, not the best at the draw, but he's got that grit and determination. I think he wants to play center. I think that's where we're going to see him. Clearly, you're figuring out now that there's a glaring omission here from the top six. We'll get to that. But yeah, I've got Cooley and Miller on that second line, and then I've put in Taylor Radish. I don't necessarily think that's going to be the way that it is, the whole season. But I think he's going to get a chance there. New addition. He had 27 points last year. I think he's going to get a chance. We've got some young players coming up, and they're going to get a chance on that second and third line. But in terms of a starting roster for the new season, I think second line might look like this. Okay, third line. Parsonen, Zibanejad, and Brodzinski. I know what you're thinking. Zibanejad at 3C is criminal, and you're not wrong. But I can't put him above Trocheck and Miller with the season he had last year. I know he talked about there were some things that happened and things weren't great, and maybe at the end of his career he'll talk about it. And we're all hoping that he's going to have a bounce back season, but the key word here is hoping at this point. So Mika, I prefer him at center. If he bounces back, if he has a good season, obviously this could change and he can go higher up in the lineup. But even if he does get better and stays at 3C, I think we're really strong down the middle. I think it's very likely that he might be moved to a top six role on the wing, considering the depth that we have on the right side. But for now, I'm putting him at 3C. And I know it's a big contract to play third line minutes, but I think it could work, and I think it might be a good deployment for him to maybe sort of ease him into an improved season, hopefully. Parsonen, I think he's the best bet right now at third line left wing. I think there's room for improvement there, but I think in a third line role he can do well and he can excel. And on the right side, I've got Brodzinski down. Look, it's going to chop and change a lot. We've got some young guys. Gabe Perreault, he's going to get looks. Othman's going to get more looks. We signed Trey, fixed Wolanski. And there's others as well. So there's going to be a lot of chopping and changing in on that third line specifically, I think. But I think from a starting lineup perspective, getting Brodzinski in there along with Mika and Parson, I think that might be what it looks like on day one. Line four, I gotta say I really like this line. Edstrom, Carrick, and Rempe, two mutants on the wing with a veteran center presence. It's what you want: size, hitting power. I gotta say I really like it. I think because we talked about a lot of those young players and depth players that are wanting to come in. We know Rempe's been in and out of the lineup, but I think the longer we can keep with something like this for our fourth line, I think it would be beneficial to us. I think a lot of the young skill players coming up would probably be better off getting some third line minutes, and that's where I expect to see them. So I really like this fourth line. Yeah, I think it'll do well for us. Defense, I think it's pretty straightforward, really, with the players that we have on D. We've got Gavrikov now signed to a 7x7 contract. He's a solid stay-at-home-ish defenseman. Should hopefully allow Fox to be more comfortable going forward. I think Fox had a down year. Everyone had a down year, but I think he's lost a bit of his creativity, and it would be nice to see that back. So Garrico and Fox is the de facto first pair. I don't think that's really in dispute. Second pair, Susie and Borgen. Susie came in, played decently. Borgen came in and was awarded with a contract extension. So I think it's pretty clear that's going to be the second pair. Third pair, I've got Vakanainen with Schneider. A lot of people are talking about Schneider playing on the left, maybe bringing in the new guy Morrow into the third pair, right, D slot. But I've put Vakanainen and Schneider there as the third pair with Morrow as the seventh defenseman. There's also Robertson as a depth defenseman there as well. We're going to have to wait and see how this all shakes out. And I think there is a lack of depth. So any injuries to the decor, I think, is going to hit us really hard. Not a lot of cap space left to do much of anything. But as it stands, I think this is the top six for us. And the goalies, we all know Shesterkin, he's here long term, thankfully. And we've got Quick for another year as well. Hopefully, the team will play a little better in front of them, and they can both have slightly better numbers than last year. So, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Let me know in the comments below. And check out my next video, which is going to be a player profile on Justo Parssinen. I'll see you then.